good to have you in here, man. Hey, so tell us about how you're feeling as a young rookie. You don't look like a rookie anymore. You're out there running around making plays, but how's it going for you?
It's getting better. It's just a motto of just trying to take it one day at a time, one rep at a time. Just try to do my best to win that rep, and I'll go from there. But, the guys here are great. It's amazing to have Frank here. We are the same exact rusher, and I was ecstatic when they signed the guy. He's a vet. He's been around a long time. All-time sack leader in the playoffs. I mean, dudes just have accolade after accolade. 70-plus career sacks. So it's been great having him here, and I've definitely been in his ear a lot. So that's helping me out. But just really trying to be consistent. Game's starting to slow down for me a little bit. So, like I said, trying to take it one day at a time.
Cool.
Is that the biggest challenge for you? I love talking to guys when they're first in the league and they're like, wow, this is so much faster, or these guys are – everybody's the best at their position compared to college. What's been the biggest challenge for you?
Right. I think really is just that speed of the game and, thinking so much because you learn a new playbook all over again in college. Had the playbook down packed my last 2 years. I'm just like, okay, cool. I can just go out and play. So really just trying to make sure I know my job, know my responsibility, know what's asked of me, and then go out and, try to put that best performance forward. So definitely the speed of the game, but like I said, it's starting to slow down a lot more. I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to pick up on tendencies and different things like that. As far as formation goes, that's allowing me to play faster.
Derick, what a great story you have at the draft. They played a thing. And so I have a nephew, Jonathan, who was born at 28 weeks. He was 2 pounds, 10 ounces. How about you? What was the point that you were born? How many weeks?
Right. So, I was born at 4.5 months, so freaking right around the same.
Yeah.
16 weeks.
Yeah, 16, 18 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was born at half the time I was supposed to be. I was 2 pounds, 1 ounce. Was born without a heartbeat. Was told I would never talk, never walk, would never do anything. My mom obligated, obviously, not to sign those papers. And, man, it's been a blessing. She's been a blessing. And obviously I'm sitting in front of you today, in less than 1% of the world playing in the NFL, man. So I'm very, very blessed.
And now you're a fire-breathing dragon. Man, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, some of the stuff that you had to go through to get, like when you first started playing, because, if I had a baby like that, you were probably holding the hand. I'm like, I don't want my baby playing football.
Right.
But what about that? Were your mom and dad sort of protective, and your sisters and brothers and all that?
Mom was very protective. She was cool with flag. The doctor told her I needed to do something to, start working on my lungs. My lungs are underdeveloped by 2 years.
Okay.
So that'll be until the day I die. But he told I need to start doing something to, start expanding my lungs, starting to do more. So I started playing flag football, and I was balling. For the little time that I could, I would go out like 3 or 4 plays, and I have to sit like 10, 15 minutes just to catch my breath. Like, that's how bad it was. So at the older I got, it started to get better, and I told her I wanted to play tackle, and she was like, no, I don't want you to play tackle. And, I mean, it wasn't that she was against it, but she was just worried, obviously.
Sure.
And we never really talked about it again, and we got to the draft, and I was like, Mom, were you ever really scared of me playing tackle football? She was like, yes. She was like, obviously, with everything that you were going through, your heart, you had bleeding in your brain, like, I just didn't know what it could bring. But she was like, it's really been a blessing, not only to me, but to you and also our family. So she gave me the opportunity, and obviously it worked out.
To say you made the most of it is an understatement. Here you are. And I see the shirt, Flawless Whips. We were talking about your truck. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard it because you drove by me one day and I was on my motorcycle out there, so I had a helmet on and everything.
Right.
But
I heard it, and I'm like an old man. Turn that down. What's the matter with you? Why is it so loud, Derick?
Well, I'm more curious as to how do you – I mean, yeah, you're a big guy, but do you have to get a running start to get into it? Because it looks like you need like a trampoline or a step ladder or something to get in there.
Nah, man.
Hydraulics?
No, it can go up and down, but I have to do that by hand. So it's on what you call coilovers, and those coilovers, there's nitrogen. So you can adjust those and let them up and down, but I like it right there where it sits. It has a little M step that comes down.
Oh, so you do have a little stair thing.
Yeah, it's automatic. So when the door opening comes down, when the door closes, it goes up. But
so I'm like, man, you got to get a running start and jump to get into that thing.
You're like a mad scientist with that truck, man.
I love it.
How do you know how to do all that stuff?
It just started when I was very, very young. My uncle was a mechanic, and so I would get under there, crawl in the cars, and just look at stuff. And he was like, boy, get from under there, you're going to hurt yourself. And I bought my first truck after my first year in college, which is my silver truck, which is getting rebuilt right now by my boy. Shout out to my boy Mike. But that's when it really took off for me. Started out by changing wheels and tires, and then leading into different things like lifts, getting into lift kits, small stuff. Then took the whole truck apart, took the rear end apart. Just getting the whole thing powder coated, putting it all back together, and putting it back on the truck. And a lot of people try to make it a lot harder than what it is, but it's really just a whole bunch of bolts and nuts that you just screw on, take off, and you just replace. So, but it's definitely amazing. With the one-off kit on the big truck, you have to weld and all that stuff. So, it's my thing outside of football for sure.
It is a thing. I don't, outside of the monster trucks that you see at the shows and things,
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen one taller than that on the street that's just driving. Do you get, I assume everybody's looking at you when you drive?
Oh, yeah. A lot of attention. You go to the gas station. You don't know how long you're going to be there. That's one thing I can say. Everybody's trying to talk to you. You're trying to get fuel. But, I mean, it is a showstopper in a lot of people's opinion. But
What do you get, 8-9 miles to the gallon?
no, that's a diesel. So,
okay.
Yeah, I get around 12 and a half in
Okay.
the big truck. Now, my 1500 is about half that size, and it only gets like 7 miles a gallon.
Yeah. Hey, the one other thing I want to bring up real quick, because you had NIL money.
Right.
And so your hometown, which I forget the name. Sorry.
Gulfport, Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right, Gulfport. They had like a flood, and the water was compromised there, and you used a bunch of your money to buy water bottles for everybody and sent just a ton of that back. I think that's such an awesome story. That's the best story I've ever heard about NIL money for you to give back to your community. That must have meant a lot to you.
Oh, yeah. So the water crisis wasn't in Gulfport. It was in Jackson, Mississippi, which is the state capital. But obviously we know a lot of family, a lot of friends there in that city. And once I heard about it, I'm like, okay, how can I help with this issue? And my mom knows the district kind of representative or whatever. His name is Jeffrey Hullum, and she got me connected with him. And I was like, yo, Jeff, what can I do to help? And they were sending like 2 or 3 semis up full of food and water to help out in the city. So I was like, okay, well, how many pallets do you need? And he was like, as many as you want. And I just bought a truckload full of water, sent it up, and I mean that's
awesome, man.
The state of Mississippi has been great to me. People rally around who I am, and I just try to always give back and let people know that no matter what you do, you can always help out your community.
Man, speaks to your character. That is very, very cool.
Yeah,
That is a cool
tell
thing.
your mom and everybody that they raised an outstanding son, man. You really
Might sound weird coming from
They all
him.
right.
Mom, you raised an outstanding son.
Yeah,
here.
just say this Jamoke in Seattle. You don't know. No, it's awesome, man. I love hearing that, and like you're an inspiration, I think, to a lot of people, like my nephew Jonathan, and
Yes, sir.
so yeah, really cool.
We appreciate you coming by, man. It's great to talk to you in person. I look forward to seeing the truck drive by again when we leave it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for taking the time.